So we're just going to jump right into it here. Here's the rear Superduty seat, somewhere around the 2010 range. I believe like 08 to 12s are all the same. Might even be the same. You could do your own research on that in other years. This is the seat I got at the scrapyard. Anyway, it's pretty dirty, but you know it's in not bad shape. So these seats on the bottom of the seats, they had their solid mounting brackets to the floor, and I didn't want that in my square body, and it wasn't exactly an easy task to get everything going, but it's definitely doable. Another fella made it work in his truck. I seen online, but I kind of took my own approach at this, what I thought might work a little bit better for me, might work a little better for others. But keep watching, and I'll show you a breakdown. There's going to be some pictures and some videos throughout this, and I'll explain everything the best I can here. So here's the factory pieces. The Superduty brackets for the seat are here. You can see where the backs bolt into, and then they bolt to the floor. That's the passenger side. You got the square body slider mount bracket. That's the center support, or I guess it's more to the passenger side, and then the driver's side. So we're going to end up cutting this guy here. I put a tape. You're going to cut on the top side of the tape line, closest to like where the ribbed section is. And that's where I cut it there. It seemed to be work the best for me, for the height of which I was mounting my seat. So here it is cut right at the line. You can see where it is. On the top bracket here, you're going to want to take a look. There's kind of a channel on the top bracket on the left hand side. You want to make sure you don't cut any of that away. So you're not going to want to cut any higher than I did here. I guess you could cut lower if you wanted to. If you were to set your seat up higher, but yeah, just you want to make sure you keep that. Then you're going to cut your other two brackets in the same location, your center and then your passenger side. You can see here I mounted my brackets all into place here. I got some 2-inch heavy wall square tubing that I have in place to try to figure out exactly where my seat pad needs to be, so for how high I'm going to be and what angle they're going to be at. And here are the seats sitting in place, just sitting on 2 pieces of square tubing. Just trying to figure out, okay, where it exactly and how it's going to sit. And then you can kind of hop inside the vehicle and see where you like it, and then you can make your own adjustments accordingly. So the original square body seat sat right around 8 inches from the bottom of the floor. Mine's going to be sitting at, I believe, somewhere around 10 here once we're done. Now I haven't fully fine-tuned it here for myself yet, but that's kind of a rough in right now where I'm sitting. Now I didn't show you the part where I tack welded these end brackets in. These guys here and this guy has to bolt in the middle, or else you won't be able to remove your backrests as a whole. So that's why I did that. That measurement from the outside edges to the top of the bracket should be about 57 inches, but they could be tweaked. So just make sure you will kind of want to have everything bolted in together first with your backrests and everything to make before you tack that in, to make sure you have everything square. That's what I did. I didn't actually show you that part here. It's pretty self-explanatory. That guy's going to be reinforced probably, but needs to be removable, the middle one. Now, this crossbar is not necessarily where it's going to be yet. I believe it's going to come forward a little bit, and this is just kind of to stabilize everything, stabilize the brackets so I can work on it. The front bar here, that's just tacked in place so everything stays nice and square. So when I pull it out of the truck, whenever I'm doing any work, I can make sure that my work is staying square. I'll just cut those tack welds off after and pull this front bar back out. I'll just give you a little bit of visual here. Now something I do want to point out here is at the very back of the slide rails from the original square body seat, you do need to cut those tabs off because they will interfere when you flip the bottom seats up, and it'll actually hit the back of the seat, and it won't fully open. So you can see here I have the cross bracket in place, or the 2-inch square tubing. I got my angle at about 2.5 degrees, which is where I wanted my seat to be, and I had removed the front bar that I had in place that kept everything squared up. Once I got it into position, I tacked it into place so it wouldn't move. Now that's the distance I put my rear bar at to the front of the bracket. It seemed to be about the best position as far as how far back and how far forward it slides. And here I ended up putting a piece of light wall square tubing lengthwise of the seat track. Then I triangulated it back into the original part of the Superduty mount where the seat would rest. And you can kind of see it's on the bottom right hand corner. There's kind of like a little pad where I'm triangulating into. Then I repeated the process for the other side. And here's the seat, pretty well all welded into place for the most part. I put a section of angle iron right across the front of the seat bracket. The seats, when they fold down, they rest onto that, and it creates quite a bit extra support, which has definitely helped out a lot. The Superduty wouldn't have originally had a section there. Now here it is, I'm taking everything back apart. I took the seat cushions, unbolted everything back out, pulled that kind of center brace towards the passenger side back out. I'm getting ready to take it out and put it on the bench so I can weld the back sides. So here there's a section, lots of little spots you'll find as you go along. I don't need to explain every little spot here, but where it's not welded together from the brackets on the factory Superduty stuff. So I'm just basically trying to tie that all in and grab any extra strength that I can. So here you can see the bottom I cut off, and then this is actually the tab that I have in my hand here from where I cut off where the original slider brackets mounted to the square body seat. So I ended up having this little piece you'll see here, and they actually worked out pretty good because I could use it to gusset right in back in here, right in this angle, to get some support back into that piece, because we remember we cut the lower section of that bracket off. So you're looking at the frame upside down right now. So once that's in there and welded in, it definitely helped and strengthened things up quite a bit. So there's a little close-up of everything. There's the bracket again. There's it welded in place. There's a nice little hole. Now if you remember earlier on in the video, when we split that bracket in half, well, that's the bottom side of the bracket where the seat and everything ties into. So it got a little bit flimsy once that bottom section was removed where it bolted into the floor. So I took a 3-inch wide flat bar, cut it to shape so it would fit right back in where that section was cut out, and then I welded it all in. Now that made a huge difference. It got rid of, I'd say, 90% of the flexion deflection that was in that piece, so it stiffened it right up. Now I didn't show you the assembly of the seats and everything back, and it's pretty easy. You took it apart, you can put it back together. So here it is all back together in the truck. You can see the backrest folds down. The headrest actually does touch the steering wheel, but it's not that big of a deal. The bottom seat flips up. It does just barely touch the back of that bracket on the slide rail where we cut those 2 pieces off and used them for gussets. But it's not really a big deal. It's not interfering or wrecking anything. So there we go. We got the seat. The cup holder folds down, which is a nice luxury to have. These seats are quite a bit firmer than the original. You get a lot more support. You got a little bit of lumbar support in there. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you can comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I can make update videos on how everything operates. If anybody has any additional questions or wants an additional video or any closer look at things, just let me know. I'll make another video, and thanks for watching.